listen-only mode.
There you go.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, this is Verl Workman here with Top 5 in Real Estate. I want to welcome you to the call this morning. First of all, I want to say a special welcome to our Star Power stars that have joined us. I have a great appreciation for who you are, and I appreciate you spending time out of your busy days to learn a little bit more about Top 5. And I promise that I'll give you some information that will not only help you stay on top, but also help you develop phenomenal relationships with, some of the past high producers in the country and also some of the emerging ones. And there's a lot of cool things that are going on. I'd like to just set the call up a little bit by telling you and giving you some history of Top 5 and what we're doing and where we've come from. I also want to welcome Linda Hall to the call, who was instrumental in getting several of you here and has made invitations to you to join the call today, and let her know that we appreciate her being here and her participation in Top 5 as well. During the call, this is a bit of a casual call. If you don't mind, you're welcome to just raise your hand, and I can unmute you, and we can have open dialogue. Or you're welcome to click on the question mark bar and type any question in, and then I'll address the question and answer it to everybody else, because I'm sure as you have questions, others will as well. This is a small group of select people that we've invited to call, not only hear about Top 5 to help understand what is different about Top 5 from maybe the first time you heard about it, and also share with you some cool things that are happening and make you a special offer at the end of the call. Just, out of respect for who's on the call, Top 5 is the cost of the program is $22.97 a year. So there's no big sales pitch at the end where I'm going to be creating this big sales program. I'm going to be offering our Star Power stars and our elite influencers a better than 50% discount and inviting you to participate as ambassadors in the program. And so just stay with me as I get towards the end of the call. I'll put that all together for you. But first, let me talk about what Top 5 is and who we are. The big thing for me is I've been traveling around the country for the last 20 years, sharing with agents how to automate their businesses, how to incorporate more technology, and how to live life at a higher level. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, with my wife of 26 years and our, God, that's a long time. I was thinking about that. We've been married a long time. And our 6 kids. I've got 3 kids in college and 3 in elementary school. Imagine that. My wife can't wait till the 3 in elementary school or finally in high school or at least getting ready to move out of the house. It's a crazy time at the Workman family. We have Pinnacle Quest Consulting, which is our main company, which is the parent company that is a holding company for our other interests. We have a speaking entity and a coaching entity, and we have a consulting side of the business where we provide consulting services not only to large companies and corporations, companies as big as Kodak, companies like Ameribid, large real estate auction companies, and other companies that have products and services they want to bring to the real estate space, and of course our interest in Top 5 in real estate. I was asked by Risk Media to take over the helm of Top 5 in real estate about a year ago, and what we realized is Top 5 was a really great idea. I saw Alan Dalton present the concept and thought, hey, this is a really good idea. But as we delved deep into the program, we realized that it was missing some pretty key components. And so we've spent the last 8 or 9 months developing and redeveloping and rechanging the culture in the program of what Top 5 in real estate is. The first thing I did is I went out and we developed what we called is an advisory council, where I went to top performing agents that I had a good relationship with over the years and said, look, help us drive the direction of this thing. I want your input on what the top agents really need and what it is. And we wanted to be able to develop a program that delivered what you really were interested in, and that's what we believe we've got. So let's start by saying that the biggest thing that I love about Top 5 is the branding in and of itself. There's this huge disconnect between the consumer and the real estate community. The consumer thinks that real estate agents are all a bunch of part-time soccer moms and people who got into real estate because they had a friend or family member and they do their 5 to 7 transactions a year. There's this huge problem in the way that the consumer perceives real estate agents, and I don't think that the television and the media are doing much to help us with that perception. I can say that I'm with Coldwell Banker, Century 21, RE/MAX, Keller Williams, Long & Foster, or any of the great independents that are out there, but that doesn't really mean anything to the consumer. What the consumer sees is they see realtor, and they think that all realtors are the same, and they bunch them together. Forbes put this up there, 5 signs of a bad real estate agent are the lack of communication, lack of leadership, unused resources, too much pressure, lack of follow-up. MSN has a blog that says, here's the seven signs it's time to dump your real estate agent, and here's how to tell the good from the bad from the incompetent. Fox Business News posts, real estate agents' 5 worst practices. Los Angeles Times has a literal blog dedicated to a website that lets buyers and sellers vent about their poor real estate agents. And I didn't copy any of their information on here, but I think that's a true issue. Even Gallup Poll's most recent poll, it says that the real estate industry, in the eyes of the consumer, is ranked 3rd from the bottom. I remember years ago we used to joke about how people perceive real estate agents, and we're right just barely above car salespeople. Well, now when you look at the Gallup poll, look at where the car salespeople are. They're kicking our trash. We aspire to be held in the esteem of car salespeople. We're 3rd from the bottom. The only industries that are perceived by the consumer as worse than us are the oil and gas industry and the federal government. So what this means to me is it means that we have an uphill battle. We have a responsibility and we have a mission to change the way that the consumer perceives real estate agents. And I don't think we can do it by providing a program to the masses. We have to separate the elite from the exceptional, the elite from the average realtors, and separate the exceptional and put them on a pedestal and say, look, there are different agents who treat their business like a business, who invest in marketing. They have teams and processes and systems in place to provide a higher level of customer satisfaction than the minimum the consumer is getting by the average realtor. Even the National Association of Realtors runs ads all the time, and I see them on TV where they've got a family and they've moved into their big house and they've got a child swimming in the backyard, and a little sign comes up and says, all you need is a realtor. Well, the reality is they have an 8 out of 10 chance of getting a bad realtor, and it's the 20% of the elite that would give them a great experience, not the average realtor. So that's the challenge we face, is the confusion by the consumer that all agents are the same. The majority of agents that are in this business are part-time agents. There's this huge lack of consumer-facing content to fill this need for credible information. The consumer today is like demanding, they want information. We have all this social media craziness going on, and there's confusion and lack of valuable interaction with the consumer as well. And last but not least, I want to talk about this fragmented network of top producers. We all lost a great mentor and friend in Howard Brinton when he passed away recently, and I don't think anybody can fill his shoes, and we certainly aren't trying to do that. But I do believe that when he retired a few years ago, he left a gaping hole in the industry for top performers to get together to share best practices and to have this environment where a family can, as a family where we really know that if I send a referral or if I ask a question, there are people out there at the same level that are willing to share and to help and to support each other in this elite group. And I do believe that Top 5 can fill the role of bringing top people together. And I think that there's been a lot of splinter groups that have started to create. There's a whole bunch of top producing things, but no one's really had the resources or the influence to be able to put their arms around this large group of top performers, and not only the past group, but also a new emerging group, and bring them together with best practices and help that network grow. And we're definitely positioned to be able to do that. So here's our mission in Top 5. Our mission is to build the most amazing network of top agents, to create a real family of giving agents who want to share, network, and live life at a higher level. And that's not a theory. That's how we live in our own company, in our own organization, and we want to attract the people who feel like, it's not all about how much money you make. It's about the impact you make on this earth while you're here, and the relationships that we have and the changes and the ability we have to be able to help others really is where we get our greatest satisfaction. We want to provide and create a referral group so you know that the agent you're sending and receiving referrals to and from are actually qualified to handle your business. And we want to shout to the world, hey, there is a difference. We're not all the same. And so we've got a pretty cool ability to do that. So what we do, so here's what agents do. Agents know that that there's a lack of professionalism. They want to create this differentiation, and so they take classes. They get their ABR, CRS, GRI, WGN, ESPN, the alphabet soup at the end of your name. Well, I do believe that education and investing in quality education is very important, and it's part of what separates our exceptional agents from the average. The consumer doesn't know it. They don't know what a CRS or a CDPE or a WCR is. And so that's why we've developed a brand that actually says something to the consumer. When I say that I'm top 5, and all of a sudden says, wait a minute, top 5 of what? I'm one of the top 5% of real estate agents in production and in education and in community service in the nation. So I've been qualified and recognized as one of the top 5% of agents in North America. That means and says something to the consumer, and we can say it in just an elevator pitch. So what now? So what is top 5? So let me take you through what the 4 pillars of top 5 are, and these are the 4 things that really make the organization unique, and that's what helps us stand. Number 1 is its messaging and personal branding, consumer-facing content, and content marketing, and I'm going to give you a ton of stuff there. The Ultimate Top Agent Community, and then I'm going to call it our Elite Webinar Series, which includes coaching and masterminds. And I'll share with you some topics and things that we've been doing there as well. Okay, so let's go to the brand that speaks. Number 1 is the branding. It speaks to who you really are. You really are top agents, and we want to let the world know that. And we do that by providing with a whole bunch of different things. The first thing we're going to do as you join Top 5 is we're going to create a press release, and that press release will announce your recognition as being qualified as a member of Top 5. The press release should go out to it will go out to the national media. You know, one of the advantages of having Riz Media as a partner is they are in the media world. They have over 60,000 in-print subscribers to their magazine and over 320,000 online subscribers. So they have the ability to push this out to the national media and get, have you be highlighted as a top agent. As that happens, this is an example of one of our top 5 agent press releases. Richard Lewis out of Jackson Hole, who's a high-producing agent, does a phenomenal job. And it talks about who top 5 is, and it says reaching the pinnacle of his profession nationally, Richard Lewis of Jackson Hole was recently accepted as a member of the Top 5 in Real Estate Network, the most prestigious of all industry achievements. This goes nationally to the press, gives a bio about what Top 5 is, and then in the last couple paragraphs talks about what makes you unique. Now, what agents will do when they get their top 5 press release, Chip Newman, one of our top 5 advisory council members and one of the original members of Top 5, what he does with his press release, not only he push it out to his local media and make sure he got a lot of press there, but he also includes it in his pre-listing package. So in his very professionally put together pre-listing package, he's got a copy of his press release that constantly, that lets the consumer know that not only does he say he's good, he's also been recognized nationally for his achievements. The next thing we do with Top 5 is we give you, whoops, I didn't mean to change slides on that, is we give you what's called a member directory. And in the member directory, one of the things Sam Miller did, when Sam Miller joined, one of the first things he did is he came to us and said, hey, you got to make this, I want more information in my member directory. And so we made some edits and some changes to the member directory so people can easily find top producing agents in the member directory. You as Top 5 members can go in and you can find your top 5 members around the country for referrals, and the consumer can go in and find a top 5 member. Our goal is to be able to, as we build the network, to be able to start letting the national media know that if they want to interview someone, if they're looking for an expert in different markets, that they should, instead of looking for average agents that are realtors, that if they just go into the top 5 member directory, they can find an expert in any market that truly was qualified to be able to speak for the industry and to speak for what's really going on, because these are the highest performing professionals. So Sam Miller did a good job there. We also just created a new national map that's a listing that allows us to put all of our top 5 members in here. So you can see just at a glance right here, all of these red dots are top 5 members. And so when you hover over it, you can see Mike Parker in there in Florence, Kentucky. And you can see when there's lots of them, if I zoom in on the map, it'll show more people. So there's 26 in that area, 5 in this area, 18 in this area. You'll also see as you look at the map that there is a very large area of the country where we don't have any top 5 members. We need to fill in those holes. And that's something that we're going to look to you to as we talk about that as well. We also, as part of elevating our top 5 members, we make sure that we highlight you in Real Estate Magazine, and we feature our top 5 members. Every single month we have a single or double truck ad where we list all of our new top 5 members, and you're able to get tear sheets of these and also push those out to your clients as well as receiving the accolades of being recognized as a top agent. One of the special things we do for our elite members, and each of you that are on this call because of who you've been invited by our elite members, we'll actually do what we call a member spotlight. And that's where we have RISMedia will call you up, they'll do a full interview, and then we do usually 2 to 3, sometimes 4 member spotlights in Real Estate Magazine, which these are actually stories on you and your business and what makes you exceptional. So like I said at the beginning, our goal is to take our elite members and to elevate them to a level nationally so everybody understands that you really are at the top of your game and you've qualified for recognition. So the first thing is the branding and the elevation of who you are on a national scale. And the second thing is the content. So let me go through real quick and just share with you the content. There's 3 areas of content that we provide all of our top 5 members. There's online content, email content, and there's hard copy content for marketing. Our goal is to give you a whole bunch of resources. So in an area where you believe that you need help, you've got a resource center that you can go to. Does everybody use all of the tools? I have yet to see the agent that uses them all, but that's okay. It's like having a smorgasbord. You pick the things that you'll like, you put those on your plate, and you use them. And if it went well, you go back for seconds and use them some more. One of the first things we do is RISMedia is constantly writing consumer-facing articles. Between 5 and 7 articles a day they actually write. You can set up RSS feeds so that those news articles appear in your websites, on your blog sites, on your Facebook page, and they automatically provide phenomenal content. The content that's coming up that's real estate specific, speaking to the real estate consumer, helps you in your SEO, helps you drive more traffic, and gives you the ability to have constant front-of-mind marketing without having to actually write it. It's all written on your behalf. There is an unbelievable archive of news and articles and things that you have full access and license to use however you want to in your business. Here's an example of one of our top 5 members in Westchester, Barbara Bodner. And what Barbara's done is she's set up a feed, and so she gets 1 to 3 articles a day that will automatically post in her Facebook on her wall. So she's getting articles that are consumer-facing to speak to the consumer. Rosemary West has set it up so we do video, and I'm sure all of you know how much video is playing a part in real estate today. You know, with YouTube being the 2nd largest search engine in the world and everybody looking for video, video is a lot more engaging. So we know how hard it is also to create your own video. So what we do is at Top 5, we create a video every single week. And that video we can set up so you get what's called an MRSS feed that allows it to update on your websites and on your YouTube channel and on your blogs so that every week a video comes in and auto-populates that. Also, by clicking on the Top 5 icon on your website, it links out to your resource center where anybody can go in and they can click on short sale questions and answers, real estate Q&A, a glossary of terms, why work with a top 5 agent, subscribe to my newsletter. This is a resource center that's built for all of you as part of your membership in Top 5 in real estate. Here's an example of one of the agents that actually embedded the video right into her blog site, Susan Eidler, who's doing a great job as a Top 5 member as well. Greg Waldman set it up so he's got the videos and he's got historical videos that appear. So he sets it up so welcome to my website. You can click on this video, and when you open up the video, it also opens up a variety of videos that they can see. He's also got the Top 5 for all things Top 5 icon on his website that will drive that consumer back to him. I wanted to show you this site because I was actually playing with this last night. This is Brandon Spear, who's one of our Top 5 agents, and Brandon is fairly technology savvy, generates a ton of internet leads. And I went to his website. I wanted to see how he's incorporating the Top 5 tools. So I'm going to just actually go live on his website. Let me show it to you. Let's see if my link worked here. It's loading on a different screen, so let me bring it over. GreatMarylandLiving.com. Let me reload that page. When I dragged it over, it lost the... So the audio is playing, but the video's not. That is so weird. Give me just a second here. I'm committed. Let me go a different direction here. I'm going to bring the tab over. We're not going to watch this video, I promise. I think it's the way that I've got my GoToMeeting set up that's not letting me There it is. All right. The concept was solid, wasn't it? All right, I'm going to shut this off. Okay, so here's what he's done. I'll describe it to you. So what he's done is he's done a couple of different things. Number one is he's got great video testimonials from clients on his site that I think is great. He's customized his top 5 photo and put top 5 logo in the background that links out to his member resource center. And then on the ownership tips right here, when you click on ownership tips, it says, I have several videos from my past and future clients when it comes to home ownership and maintenance. These are the videos that actually are your top 5 videos, and they actually play within his site. Now, when you go to his website, and let me give you the URL for that, because it is not going to load here for us. It's called greatmarylandliving.com. You can check that out yourself. Here, I think if I share my other screen. All right, let me try this for just a second. I've got another thing here. I want to show you this because it is really cool. I'm going to pause screen sharing. All right, never mind. Okay, the next thing you do is you get banners. So we've got videos that play on your website, and then this one down here. I'll show you this one in a minute. But this is, why your house did not sell. This is our expired listing program for top 5, and it's a downloadable PDF. So he's utilizing the videos, the why your house did not sell downloadable PDF for expireds or for sell by owners, and I'll show you what that marketing looks like here in just a second. All right, the next piece is, we got a great group of agents on the call. The next piece is, these are banners, and they're really easy banners that you can incorporate in your email signatures, on your websites, on your blog sites, anywhere that you have an online presence. You can put these that will link them to your resource center that puts all your top 5 branding there. Here's an example of how Chip Newman has done that. So what Chip's done is from his personal website, he's incorporated, this is one of the pro agent sites from Trish Andreasen, he's incorporated the top 5 click for all things real estate. When you click on it, I believe that's one of her sites, when you click on it, it then opens up your resource center. And then once again, Chip has created a customized page in his resource center for his clients to be able to see how that works. The other thing we can do is you set up what we call a monthly branded customer e-letter. Many of us are struggling with content to put out these monthly newsletters. Well, we write a real estate newsletter for all of our top 5 members, and it's called Real Estate Matters. It's monthly tips and topics. All of your email database, all of the email leads that get generated on your websites, you can import into your top 5 resource center, and it automatically launches them on the newsletter. So now you've got a set it and forget it program so the clients are constantly getting content. So that's the online content. Let me move to marketing today and some of the offline marketing tools that are available. We've tried to anticipate where the market is today and then provide you with materials that help you generate new clients. First-time home buyers, this is a home buying questions and answers. This is a downloadable PDF you can put as available resource on your website. You can also print it and have it customized for you. Today's market represents an opportunity for homeowners who wish to move up to a larger home or a vacation home or buy investment property. And so we've created some, these are both downloadable PDFs and they're booklets that can be used as mailers. They can be used as part of your marketing, your geographic farming, or even part of your pre-listing packages. This one's called Invest in Your Home, Invest in Your Lifestyle, and it talks about why now is a good time to move up. And then that was the home buyer questions and answers. We know there's an increased number of short sales coming on the market. A lot of the REO companies aren't doing REOs. They're now pushing their clients into short sales and assigning short sales. The consumers don't know that they don't have to use one of those REO agents to do their short sale. They can use another professional. This is a home buyer. This is a home buyer's guide to understanding short sales, and it's the 4 R's of short sales: how homeowners can recover, how lenders can recoup, how home buyers can reap the benefits, and how professionals can render exceptional service. And it's brought to you by your top 5 professional. It's a very, very well thought out, very accurate short sale piece. This is what every home seller should demand of their real estate agent. I love this piece because it really talks about, by the way, you should always read this before you send it out in your pre-listing package, but you send this out as part of your pre-listing package. It's what every home seller should demand. It's all the questions that they should ask an agent, what the advantages are of working with an experienced top 5 professional, and it's a very, very well put together piece. This piece is for going after listings. And I know this is the challenge right now for so many people. We want to list more properties because those of you who are listing high volume control the market. And everybody that has boatloads of buyer's agents are struggling with inventory as the market's changing around the country. And so this is a piece we put together for sell by owners and expireds called There's Only One Reason Your Home Didn't Sell, and it isn't the price. And it's a door hanger and a booklet that describes that it's about the marketing, not about the pricing, and why top agents have the ability to get your house sold in a shorter period of time while protecting your interest for the maximum amount of money. So top 5 is about, number 1, the branding and elevating our agents to a place where we're separating from all other agents, the average from the exceptional, and then it's by giving you resources to allow you to push that message out as well. Now I want you to think of the power of this. Let's say that we have 1,000 top 5 agents around the country that are all utilizing top 5 newsletters. They're using the news that's going in their Facebook. They're sending out their marketing. The press releases are going out. They're using it in their email signatures and their logos. All of a sudden, we have this army of top professionals that are all borrowing each other's brand equity. It doesn't matter what company you're with. We want you to build your own personal brand, but when you add to that top 5, now we have this army of agents that are all screaming to the consumers, look, if you're not dealing with the top 5 agents, you're making a mistake. And that message will begin to resonate, and consumers will start seeking out the top 5. So how do we implement all of this? All of this top 5 content, one of the first things I came in, my specialty in real estate and technology has been kind of as an adoption specialist. You can have all the tools in the world, but if you don't use them, you don't adopt them, then you're left with tools you pay for that you don't actually utilize. And we all have boxes of software and unopened programs that our clients that we've never actually used. So we created what's called a 30-day action plan. This is a downloadable PDF that we've created for all of our top 5 members. Once you get it, it gives you what to do, so you can give this to your team and say, here's what I want you to do every day for 30 minutes a day. So if you want to log into Facebook and install the RSS graffiti so you automatically get your posts, we show you how to do that, how to set it up for your Twitter feeds, automatically get the news, how to download your booklets and customize the letters so that you have downloadable PDFs on your website. We've provided you with what to do every day for 30 minutes a day until you have all of your top 5 system implemented and working. I talked about the Ultimate Community. The way we do the Ultimate Community is we have hired a community manager, and our community manager is a man by the name of Chris Nichols. I don't know how many of you know Chris. Chris is one of Inman's top 100 most influential people. We hired Chris when we first took over Top 5 because we felt like he was doing a phenomenal job at keeping conversations going with valuable information. Chris is our community manager. He's in charge of our Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn pages. He's also in charge of organizing and putting together meetups so that when we have a national conference or a convention, when there's top 5 people together, we always want to get together for cocktails or hors d'oeuvres and just build the network to share each other best practices. He's also in charge of our official group on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And Chris will be very much hands-on in putting together our national conventions. When we do meetups, we did a meetup at NAR. We'll do a meetup at the mid-year NAR this year. We do regional events, casual get-togethers, and starting in 2013, this year will be our first ever conference where we'll be piggybacking on a conference at NAR this year in San Francisco. And the conference will grow as our membership grows, and we'll begin having great interactions. One thing I'll challenge all of you to do: get on the Facebook group. Facebook.com/top5NRE and join the conversations, create great connections with top 5 members, see what's happening in the network. There has been some really good conversations going on. This is a conversation that was talking about NAR's Realtor Property Resource, and the question was asked, how many of you are using RPR through NAR member benefits, and what's your favorite feature? What do you think about it? It was very interesting, the conversation, the communication that was happening between our top 5 members, and those types of things are happening constantly, and that's what we want to do, is we want to have a great conversation there. Nancy Anderson came on and said, look, I need help. I need to hire a buyer's agent. Those of you who have one, where did you find your person? Where's the best place to look and recruit? What hours do you have them working? Thanks for your feedback. And then, a bunch of top 5 members started sharing their best practices of how they find their buyer's agents. But as we share with each other and we share with these emerging agents that are, good producers and their teams are exploding and building, we find that the real benefit that comes by being part of an exceptional network. Chip Collins put on the other day, he said, I have a referral for Palm Harbor in Newport Richey, Florida. Any takers or suggestions? I immediately saw that post. This is actually in a different group, and I went in and said, look, I went to my map and I found where Newport Richey was, and I said, here you go, take a look at Frank Pruce. He's a sharp agent really close to the area because I knew he was a top 5 member, and posted that in there. And then there's the communication that started as a result of that referral. The goal is to refer business to each other who we know are exceptional. The 4th pillar was coaching and best practices, and this was something that was kind of this is a little bit outside the norm. Most speakers have huge egos, and they feel like they do it better than anybody else. When we took Top 5 over, one of the first things that we decided in our own mission statement was that we didn't want the Top 5 network to be about any individual. I don't want it to be about Verl Workman. I don't think that Verl Workman has all the answers. I do believe I have some answers and experience that I can share with people as it makes sense, but there's a lot of people out there who are smarter than I am, and I want to be the dumbest person in the room. I want to be surrounded by people who are smarter than I am. And so I put together what we call our Elite Speakers and Coaches group. And these are people that I have respect or experience with in the industry that I believe offer true value. Bob Corcoran of Corcoran Consulting, who coaches many of the top people in the country. G. Dunstan, Rich Levin, Bubba Mills, Nicole Nicolay, Terry Murphy, Mike Parker, Pat Zabe, Bernice Ross, and Alan Paul. This is my elite group of speakers who I've gone to and said, look, I need to spread the word that top 5 members are different, and I need coaches and speakers who are on stage in front of audience to be able to share that word as well. And I invited them to be part of this Elite Speakers and Coaches group. Now, these coaches also perform and provide valuable content that's exclusive to our members. Every single month, I've asked these coaches to provide 2 webinars. So every month we do 2 webinars around a specific topic. So they do 2 live calls a month. It's exclusive content to our top 5 members, and it gives live interactions with the best in the business. The topics that we are doing in 2013, we're doing 13 topics, are as follows. We started in January with executive business planning. Then we went into mastering your time and living your dreams. That's time management. It was interesting. I surveyed, at the end of the year last year, I surveyed our top 5 members. And I said, all right, what do you want? What do you need this year? What are the things you really want help with? And these are the topics that came back from our members. Time management came from everybody. Everybody said, I want more time. Optimizing new market opportunities. How is the business changing, and how do we get there ahead of everybody else? Evolving your sales approach, becoming great closers and salespeople. Personal branding. Dominating global and luxury markets was also a big topic for many of our top 5 members. Maximizing social media, tapping into the tablet, developing relationship strategies, riding the next wave of innovation, what's coming next from a technology perspective, investing in human capital, and leveraging distressed properties. And so every month we do 2 webinars, and they're all delivered by this group of our top elite coaches, myself included in this group, in delivering content. So, here's some of the things we've just done recently. Rich Levin, who's a phenomenal coach, not very well known, but he coaches a lot of top producing individuals and teams. He talked about hiring the right people, and he gave us phenomenal resources. 5 common costly mistakes in hiring the wrong people, 5 rules of hiring success, critical keys to hiring administrative assistants, the keys to hiring selling assistants, and secrets to building compensation plans that work. He not only gave us his A material that he shares with his coaching clients, but he also gave us contracts, questions to ask, compensation strategies that we can use. Each one of these calls is recorded, so as you come into the top 5, you're able to go into your resource center, click on it, and get it. He talked about 5 rules of hiring success. I won't go through those with you. We shared in a previous call how we manage our virtual assistants. We created a virtual assistant management program in Google Docs where, if you look at this really close, you can see that this was actually created for my virtual assistant, Jason, in the Philippines. And we created this so that we can go in and we can track all of the things that are being assigned to the virtual assistant, who requested the activity, when it was requested, when it's due, how high a priority is it, high, medium, or low, what the start date, the end date, and what percent of completion is. And what this allowed us to do with our assistants that are virtual is it allows us to go in and have daily 15-minute huddles and make sure that we're working on the highest priorities first. You'll notice the things that are 100% done are our highest priorities, and those get finished in time to complete those transactions. And this is something that we've shared with all of our top 5 members that request it so that we can help them better manage their business as well. The second type of coaching call that we do, I call it coaching call, but it's really a best practice call, is titled This Way to the Top. This Way to the Top is, we just coined that phrase because we wanted to be able to go in and we wanted to interview our top performing agents and find out what they do better than anybody else. And then we want to share with our other top 5 members real practitioners of how they're doing things. So in August we did one on winning dialogue at Top Producers. October we did a program with Michael Bjorkman. Many of you don't know Michael Bjorkman. Mike does 300 transactions a year in California, plus he manages over 300 doors. And he talked about how to build a property management division that will pay 100% of your company's overhead and allow you to have all of your real estate team be completely paid for by the property management division. He does it working 1 day a week. It was a phenomenal call. And he gave us his operations manuals. He gave us how you set up your office quickly, shared with us marketing ideas. In December, we did action plans on steroids and automated systems and processes with Chip Newman, and he shared with us how he follows up with all of his clients and has done for years. He also shared with us his Letter from Santa's program and how do we get that done and how he gets thousands of people to participate in Letters from Santa every year. In February, Melinda Estridge did a phenomenal call. It was titled, It's All About the Numbers. And Melinda took us through what she tracks in her business, showed us her spreadsheets and shared them with us, and talked about what's important to track and why it's important to track and how she tracks it. And then we have the ability then to duplicate her systems. One of the key things in being interviewed for these This Way to the Top calls is that you have to be willing to share and give us what it is your best practice is so that our top 5 members can then incorporate it in their business. It's like being on the fly on the wall on some of the top performers in the country. And I know many of you are top performers, and I would love to have the opportunity to find out what your best practice is and get you on the schedule so that we can interview and highlight you as a member as well. In March, actually that call's later this afternoon, it's today, I've interviewed Dano Sales. And I don't know if you know Dano. Dano is in Maui. He's one of the best networkers in the top agent community. Dano's also a really good guy. And Dano's going to talk about tapping into luxury and international markets. Much of his business is he does with Canadian buyers and buyers from around the world. And he's done $50 to $100 million a year in luxury real estate. He's going to talk about his marketing, how his stuff looks differently, his web strategy, the way he interacts with the elite clients, what he does in open houses to really separate himself from all the other agents that are trying to be top agents in Maui. It's a phenomenal call, and it's this afternoon. Any of you that are on this call are welcome to participate in that live interview that we're doing with Dano this afternoon. Just let me know that you'd like to be involved. Okay, so here's what's coming up. On the elite speaker calls, we have hiring. Okay, in March we already did that one. March 21st, we have Tapping into Luxury Markets. That's today. Finding the Perfect Playmate. Mike Parker is doing an Elite Speaker Series call, also focused on hiring. Terry Murphy on the 16th of April is going to do a call called Maximizing New Opportunities, and she's identified as working with some very interesting new ways of generating new business that are outside the norm, and I think you'll really enjoy that call as well, so we look forward to being part of that. So you can't do it all, and I want to stress that. As a top 5 member, we know you're busy, and we know that you can't do it all. So what you have to do is you have to look at the calendar of events and look at the topics that we're focusing on and decide what you can do, and then engage in those areas. Utilize the top 5 marketing tools to gain market share and differentiate yourself by branding with your top 5 branding. The next thing I'll just encourage you to do is automate the processes in client communication. We've got automated processes with social media, video, e-newsletters, and web content. Listen to the topics that interest you and focus on areas where you'd like to improve. We also encourage you to have your team members attend those calls. When you join Top 5, you join Top 5, but your team has access to listen to all of the things that we're doing so that you can help improve their quality and the things they're doing as they interact with your clients. And last but not least, I really want to encourage you to truly engage in the network. Be an active participant, because if you engage and you're an active participant, you'll gain much more value from the program. So here's how people qualify to be a member in Top 5, and then I'll open it up for questions and we can have some dialogue, and I'll talk about the ambassador program. So there's 5 criteria that agents have to go through to qualify for Top 5. Number 1 is you have to demonstrate and show us that you're involved in your community. We want agents who give back. We take and have the ability to make so much money in the communities that we're part of. I found that if you're engaged in your community, you do Walk for the Cure, you're involved in doing fundraisers. Chip Newman was doing Dancing with the Stars last month as a huge fundraiser. As you're involved with your community, we found that the agents who give back to their communities are also the ones that do the right things all the time, and we don't have to worry about ethical issues. We want people who are good citizens. We also found that if you're involved in your community, you're givers, and those givers will give back to the Top 5 community as well and help us build the right kind of environment for our family members. The second thing is there's results. Now, we can't have Top 5 membership just be for the number 1 in every market. There's no business model that makes sense there. And so we've opened Top 5 up to the top 10% in each market, meaning they have to be in the top 10% in gross income or number of transactions. So they have to be proven results. We want to separate the average from the elite. If you're in the top 10%, you're there. Now, there's a big gap between the top 10% and the number 1 agent, which many of you are, and we need your help in helping these other agents move their business to a higher level in each of the markets around the country. The next one is education. They have to be educated beyond the minimum required by their MLSs and their state associations. Education's a big deal to me. I found that if you have your CRS and you're involved in WCR and you have invested in personal coaching, that you're exceptional. And agents that have those designations and that can show us and demonstrate where they've invested in personal development that makes them better agents qualify under the education in our creed. The next one is experience. We don't take any rookies on into Top 5, nor do we take or accept part-time agents. You have to be a full-time agent, and you have to have a minimum of 3 years experience. If you've been less than 3 years in the business, but you're in the top 10%, we require that you have closed a minimum of 70 transactions. So we want high producers. If you're a young lion that's come out and you've you've put yourself in the top 10% in your market, and you've done 70 sides, then we'll invite you into Top 5 because we want those young innovators to share with us the ideas and things that are helping them get to the top so fast. And the last thing is digitally enabled, and that is we need our Top 5 members to be tech savvy. You can't show up with a paper CMA and say that I'm a tech savvy agent showing flip charts of what your virtual tours and websites look like online. We want our Top 5 members to be exceptional and to stand out. And so digitally enabled is critical. It also gives you the ability to launch all of the processes and systems and technology that we're providing for each of our members. So being tech savvy is also important. Does anybody have any questions on what it takes to qualify in Top 5? I'd love to hear your feedback, and I'm going to open that up for questions right now. If you have any questions, just type them in, or you can raise your hand. I'm not seeing any questions or hands go up. Okay? All right, so let's talk about dollars and what the ambassador community looks like. So here's what it looks like to join Top 5. I told you at the beginning of the call, Top 5 is an annual membership that's $22.97 a year. The members that are currently in Top 5 right now, and there's about 300, have all come in at $22.97. Sometimes we've done special events where we will do, if you sign up today, you can join for $17.97. $17.97 is the least we've allowed anybody to come into Top 5. The other things are the 3 years, the top 10% tech savvy, completed the education, a full-time agent. For the people that are on this call, we've got a, and I'm just going to talk candidly for a minute. We've got an earn-out with Riz Media that requires us to have a certain number of members by the end of May. And so what we're doing is, and this comes for our advisory council. I went to Linda and to Sam Miller and to Mike Parker and to Rob Levy and Nate Martinez and Chip Newman. I said, look, what can we do to invite some of the other top performers? And they said, well, it's really important that you recognize that they're not like the average Top 5 members. They have the ability to influence a lot of people, and we need to give them a special program and make them ambassadors of the program. And so we've developed a program specifically for people who have been recommended recommended by our advisory council or are part of our top 5 or our former Star Power stars. And so that program looks like this. If you would like to join Top 5 as an ambassador, we'd like to make that offer to you. We're going to discount the program way more than 50%. The minimum we're allowed to sell Top 5 memberships for and cover our cost is $9.95, or maybe I think it's $9.97. We'll say it's $9.95. As an ambassador, here's what you agree to. You agree that you'll implement Top 5 in your system so we can use you as poster children. I want to be able to go to Orly's website and see it. Or I want to be able to go to Shane's website and see a Top 5 link on there that goes to your member service center. Use the tools, they work. I also want to be able to know that when somebody calls you and says, hey, I see you're a Top 5 member, that you'll be an ambassador and you'll be engaged in to the point where you can talk sincerely and genuinely about what Top 5 is. And the last thing is that you'll help us grow the membership. And in order to be an ambassador, we ask that you recommend and get at least 5 new members a year in Top 5. Now, we create a special program for when you recommend somebody join Top 5. You all have networks of top agents and people you're friends with, so I don't think that's going to be a problem. But when you recommend somebody join Top 5, we do 2 things. First of all, when you recommend them, we give them a $200 discount off their enrollment, and we give you a $200 credit towards your next year's annual renewal. So our goal with our Star Power Stars is this, is to have you each do a minimum of 5 recommendations of people who join so that your annual membership ends up being free. So next year, you've recommended 5 people, you've got a $200 credit, we just renew your membership in Top 5. And that will happen on an ongoing basis. When you join at Top 5 as an ambassador, providing that you are a raving fan and that you continue to engage and you continue to recommend people, we'll grandfather we'll grandfather the price, so you'll always be able to renew your membership at $9.95 with Top 5. So that's the Top 5 program, and that's what we'd like to offer each of you. All I ask is that you, first of all, let me know that you'd like to join by just raising your hand. Let me know you're in, so I know who on the call would like to join Top 5 in this elite group. Please, would you mind doing that for me? Just raise your hand. Let's get you involved. I see several of you raising hands, and I appreciate that. All right, for those of you who aren't sure, let me just take a second. Let's open up the call to questions, and let's see if we can talk about how you can utilize Top 5 to make it work for you. The way that you enroll in Top 5, there's actually 3 ways to sign up. The first one is to email sales@top5inrealestate.com and just put in your subject line, I'm in, and then put your best contact information, and then I'll have one of our salespeople get a hold of you, call you up, and get you signed up. The second way you can enroll is fill out the online form, top5inrealestate.com, and then click Do I Qualify, and just do it online. It's a very good form, and that's a great way for you to engage people as well. That's a great way for you to let people know about the program. So you send them to Top 5 in Real Estate, they click on the Do I Qualify, they fill out the form, and there's a place for them to put who recommended them. Make sure you tell them that, hey, I was recommended by someone, I was recommended by Casey Butler, and so you get the credit and they get a credit as well by being a referral. Other ambassadors, if there are people that you feel like would be good ambassadors to the program that may not know about it, please let us know who they are, and let's invite them to Top 5 as well as we incorporate ambassadors. My goal is to generate 100 ambassadors over the next 30 days. So with those of you that are on the call today and others that are in the pipeline, we want to add 100 ambassadors, and we'll each bring 5 new Top 5 members in 2013. And then we'll start getting some real momentum that will help Top 5 knock it out of the park. And go to the next slide. So the goal together is to make 2013 absolutely our best year ever in real estate, and I do believe that we've got the people to do that. Let me just open the call up. Linda, are you on the call with me?
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you great. How are you this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, and thank you for your help in inviting several of the people who are on this call here today. Anything you'd like to add, or any questions you have about Top 5? You've jumped in, you jumped in like it was jumping into cold water, 2 feet all in.
Well, I really did, didn't I? Frankly, today I really learned some things about Top 5 myself. I love all the integration with all the websites and the newsletters and the feeds and all those types of things, because a lot of those things can really help you in SEO, in moving your website up, especially with the blog. I like the printout stuff, the prints. I've already gotten some of those things that I can hand out to people in a pre-listing packet. I think there's an opportunity there to take Top 5 and integrate it into some of the stuff that I already have. So I'm pretty excited about that part of it. I like the map that you can pull up. I'm on a lot of listservs, and obviously I have a lot of great friends in Star Power, but they're not located in every place that you need to refer someone. So I think the map is fantastic. I really like that.
Yeah, I haven't shared the map with anybody yet. It's not public, but I will share it with all of our ambassadors so you can all see where our members are and where we need to add people. So I'm gonna that'll go up on our ambassador site, and I'll share it with everybody. We have a private group for our ambassadors that everybody who joins in your Star Power Friends will be part of. So I'll share that with everybody so you can see where our members are and who they are.
Okay.
Great stuff.
But those are some, I see some great possibilities. I like the way Chip has done that. I think there's some great opportunities to integrate this into the stuff that I already have.
I appreciate that. Orly asked a question, and I'll ask this. You know, Linda just won the Century 21 Technology Agent of the Year Award, and congratulations to you for that, by the way.
Thank you.
That was a great honor. I saw all your pop-ups. They really made a big deal about that at convention. You're like a rock star.
They did do that. It was pretty crazy, I'll tell you.
I think it's awesome. Well, Orly asked a question. His question about your blog, and maybe you can address it. He says, doesn't the blog have to be original content in order to provide SEO?
No, not as long. It is my understanding that as long as you give credit to where the information came from, it is okay, and it does push your SEO up.
I was on a call last night with Trish Andreasen, and we were kind of going deep into a lot of the content and things that happened, because she's got all these top agent websites that
yes,
she
does.
loves to plug the content into, and she's all over the content, believes that it's going to really help significantly in the SEO. Yeah. Plus, one of the things she talked about, I don't know if you've talked about her since she and I talked last night, Linda, but she talked about the downloadable PDFs as being great lead generation pieces.
Well, I think people are looking for that. I have some ebooks. If Shane is still on here, he and I have been involved in some of the design of those ebooks. But I also like this stuff that you can download. What I see is that I can take Top 5 and really, like I said, integrate this stuff into what I have.
Well, that's the beauty of it. We want to make your life easier by providing you great tools and helping, and remember, the whole goal is to help separate you from the average agent and let the world know, hey, there's a group and they really truly are elite, and they had to qualify to be part of it.
Yeah. Exactly.
I get excited sometimes. I was trying to be low key today.
Well, it's exciting when you can think about what you can do with stuff. I think that's where I go with technology. I love to see the integration.
Well, I appreciate it. And I appreciate everybody spending their time here today. I'm looking for any other questions or hands being raised. It looks like we've got several people. Shane's going to join us in Top 5, Linda, and we've got several others that have raised their hand and said that they're going to join us. So I hope all of you will join us in Top 5. I ask you that you do it right away so that we can keep the momentum going. So we'll get a hold of you, or let us know how you're going to respond, whether it's email or you go online, and let's keep the ball rolling. Linda, thank you for your help in supporting the webinar today, and thanks for being here.
You're welcome.
Everybody,
I love you guys.
And I feel the love. Let's all go out there and make it a great weekend. And thanks for joining us today. I'll talk to you all very soon.
Okay.